Hi, can you introduce yourself and what your organization does?
Sure. My name's Sharee Williamson. I work for the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And we are an advocacy organization, and our mission is saving places so that they're available for the future.
In your mission, why did you feel GIS is very important?
Sure. We're using GIS primarily to do story maps right now. We're using it for advocacy and public outreach. We have an advocacy program that's called National Treasures, where we identify historic sites around the country that are nationally significant and also that they're facing some sort of threat. So maybe it's inappropriate development or maybe it's lack of funding, and we get involved to try to help. And as part of that advocacy, we're using story maps to tell the story of the threat and also the story of the place so that the public can get involved.
Can you show us some examples on how you're using story maps for your activities?
Of course. So this is a good example here. It's the James River. It's the James River at Jamestown in Virginia. And here the threat is construction of a power line across the river, and it would be visible from multiple nationally significant historic sites, including Jamestown Island, Carter's Grove, which is a National Historic Landmark, and also National Park Unit, Colonial Park and Parkway. So we've been using this to show where the proposal is, educate people about the importance of the sites that would be impacted, and then ask them to sign our petition at downtothewire.org to help to advocate for Dominion Virginia Power to choose another alternative route that does not impact these places. And another good example is the work that we've been doing in Annapolis, Maryland. So in Annapolis, the historic district is right downtown and it's right on the Chesapeake Bay. And as sea level rises, you can see on the map that over time, portions of the historic district will be inundated by floodwaters. They're already experiencing an increase in frequency and degree of flooding, and it's going to get worse over time. And so to make sure that the public understands what the impact of the flooding will be and then helps to plan for addressing that issue, this is just a way to educate people.
Sure.
The historic district downtown it's an economic engine and also just a special place, and so planning to protect it is important.
Okay, and some more example, the final example that you're showing to us.
This is a map that shows the research that's been done by our Preservation Green Lab. And so what they do is they take parcel data, and this map is showing Seattle. They take parcel data and show historic districts where they show the age of the buildings, and then they overlay it with other bits of information like how many small businesses are opened, how many women-owned businesses are opened, how walkable are the areas, and they're able to prove with data using GIS that these historic districts are more vibrant and are loved by people and are an economic engine. So that encourages people to understand why it's important to save them.
So you were saying that you also try to integrate the Twitter social media data to understand the building usage patterns. So you said that in this project you also have utilized social media data to understand the patterns of people moving around the city. So how did that happen actually?
Mm-hmm. Our researchers used publicly available data, things like Twitter usage and cell phone usage, and were able to map where the highest levels of activity were occurring, like on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and able to show that these historic districts are extraordinarily vibrant and lots of things are happening downtown in historic districts on the weekends.
Okay, so how is this how is this map in particular is helping you to pass on the message to the public?
Sure. So this is Story Map shows our older, smaller, better report that was done. And it's about a 30-page detailed research report. And what this does is make it more accessible to the public. So you can click through, you can understand how the researchers made their decisions, and then take it to your local community when you want to advocate for saving historic districts and historic places in your town, and show that they are economically and environmentally viable and they're worth saving.
Okay, just one more question. Are you using any LiDAR technology in preservation activities of historic buildings as such?
We have used LiDAR. We have a model that was put together for our work actually on the James River, where it's a 3D model using LiDAR where they mapped the entire landscape, and then they also did hand models of the towers. And so we've got sort of flat maps where you can see viewshed, but this really brought it to life when you put it into City Engine and brought it up to 3D, and it's manipulable. It's available on our website. We have an ArcGIS online site, and the model is up, and you can look around and you can really see the impact of these towers and what you would see from different perspectives.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sharee. Thanks for your inputs today.
Yeah, thank you.